Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host, Sree Iyer. AgustaWestland. In fact, this is the one scam that made PGurus. This broke out in April 2016, and this was one of the big hits that we published on pgurus.com. All we did was take an Italian judgment, that is a judgment written in Italian, and translate it into English, and we provided some excerpts of that. That was all we did. And then look where all it went. So I have a lot of pleasure and joy in explaining to you what happened in this case, because I'm hearing now that Prime Minister Modi has come back with some clinching evidence from Italy, and this will help sew up the loose ends. Who are the ones who are at the other side? Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and Ahmed Patel, also to a little extent Manmohan Singh. So what's going to happen to all these people? Let's wait and see. Is this the new weapon that the BJP is going to use to fight the Congress with? Very interesting days ahead. I just thought that many of you may not be aware of all the work that was done in PGurus over the years. I thought I'll just give you a summary of what happened, and I'll also bring you up to date, up until now, where things stand. Here we go. A request to all of you to like this video. This needs to go far and wide, because this is not a simple deal, and it's a very complicated deal, made more so because they wanted to make the contract go to only one company. So they changed the specifications to make sure that only one company could bid for it. All that and more. Here we go. So in April 2016, an appellate court in Milan, Italy, gave a judgment that exposed the role of Sonia Gandhi, Manmohan Singh in the AgustaWestland chopper deal. 125-page judgment also reveals that Sonia's political secretary accepted the commission of 15 to 16 million euros from the middleman. The judgment of the Appeal Court in Milan, convicting AgustaWestland chopper company chief Giuseppe Orsi, described how the firm paid bribes to top Congress leaders in India and lobbied with them to back this 3,600 crore, that is 451 million deal. I'll give you the exchange rates in a minute about what was the prevailing exchange rate, because today it's around 83, then it was much less than this. So it will give you an idea of how things were shaping up. Based on handwritten notes, and I'm going to show you one such or two such handwritten notes seized from middlemen, the judgment says that the political leaders accepted 15 to 16 million euros as commission on buying 12 VIP helicopters. It also names the role of Sonia Gandhi's trusted aide and AICC General Secretary Oscar Fernandez and the then NSA M.K. Narayanan. The judgment also included handwritten notes between middlemen on how the 30 million euro commission was achieved among Indian political leaders, bureaucrats, and Air Force officials. This is the first time I got to see a template of how a defense purchase in India goes down. Who gets how much cut? And I have a diagram that shows you who gets how much cut. There are three players involved: the politicians, the bureaucrats, and the concerned wing of the armed forces, in this case Air Force. In fact, Air Chief Marshal 𝗤𝗙𝗍𝗍 was actually arrested for this, the only air chief to have been arrested. So this is the Italian court judgment. So you can see that there are three tranches: 6 million euros, 8.4 million euros, and 15 to 16. And look at who is the name that he puts: FAM. To me, FAM is family. POL, political advisor, AP got 3 million euros. Then you see the bureaucracy, and I'll give you an even better picture so you can see it easily. So Sonia Gandhi's name appears mentioned 4 times, 2 times each on pages 193 and 204 of the judgment, convicting Orsi and the other officials of Finmeccanica, the firm that manufactures AgustaWestland VVPI choppers. Orsi and other officials were convicted for 4.5 years for giving bribes. A letter dated March 15, 2008 seized by investigators shows the main middleman, Christian Michel, wrote to Peter 𝗼𝗎, then Indian region sales manager and liaison head of the helicopter company. The letter states that Sonia is the main driving force behind this deal and she will no longer fly in the existing Mi-8 choppers. Congress leadership's lobbying and corruption were clearly explained, as well as a letter to the then British High Commissioner in India suggesting that he target top Congress leadership. The judgment also says 𝗤𝗂𝘁𝗃 had identified all the Congress leaders, including Sonia Gandhi, Ahmed Patel, on the court when their photos were shown. Imagine pack of cards, right? Pack of cards. That's how they had all these pictures about this size. Picture of Sonia Gandhi, picture of Manmohan Singh, picture of Ahmed Patel, Rahul Gandhi, this, that. This man went through and identified each and every one of the major leaders of the Congress party. So, on page 9 of the judgment, there is a handwritten note that Michel has exchanged to 𝗤𝗂𝘁𝗃 on how to distribute the total commission of 30 million euros. I think I showed you this one. So you can see how the 30 million was going to get distributed. 6 million euros to Air Force, 8.4 to bureaucracy, and about 15 to 16 million to the family. And now let's go and look at how it shows. If you do it like a pie chart, how does it show up? This is the distribution here. Air Force officials were allotted 6 million euros and bureaucracy, including Defense Ministry officials, were allotted 8.4 million euros. So, political leadership gets 52% of the bribe amount. 28% goes to bureaucracy. 20% goes to Air Force. So, if there is a ghotala of this kind, who is the one who should be looking at this? Vigilance Commissioner, the Comptroller and Auditor General, CAG. Guess what? They had a kickback too. So, this is the first time I saw that everybody who's anybody was getting a cut on a defense deal. And why it broke down, I'll come to in just one moment. Page numbers 163 and 164 names Manmohan Singh and details that 𝗏𝗏𝗏 used Italian leadership and diplomats to contact the then Prime Minister to scuttle the probe by non-cooperation from Indian government side. So here is the hand note that he has written, and this is in Italian. What it means is, call Monty or Ambassador Terracciano in my name to ask him to call PM Singh. Said the note seized from the prison cell of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. The judgment in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was the CEO of AgustaWestland, Finmeccanica. The judgment in several areas blames the non-cooperation from Indian authorities, including Defense Ministry and other probe agencies in 2013. So what happened was, the Italian court is probing the bribe giver. So the bribe giver has been arrested. So they were looking for evidence as to where the bribe amount went. For that, the Indian government was supposed to cooperate. What did they do? Nothing. Michel was paid 6 million euros to manage Indian media. In fact, he did such a good job that when this judgment came out, for the first few days, all the Indian media said was that Air Marshal or Air Vice Marshal 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and his family members have been extradited by the Italian court, and that they will be acted upon. Essentially, they were hanging the entire scam on one person, 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏. But when PGurus translated the Italian version of this judgment and put it out in English, all hell broke loose. And I'm going to tell you what happened after that. Just stay with me. There are a few more slides to go over, because this is, like I said, it's a little bit complicated deal. So what happened next? Finmeccanica and Michel's company, Global Services FZE or Dubai, entered into a post-service contract after the controversial purchase of 12 𝗣𝗖𝗍 choppers on March 1st, 2010. 𝗣𝗖𝗍 chopper deal was signed in 2009, and the media management contract started in 2010 for a period of 22 months. Michel received 275,000 euros per month for this covert PR exercise. No wonder nobody in Indian media opened their mouth. Christian Michel would stay at the Claridge's, New Delhi, a place known for schmoozing with journalists and bureaucrats. During this period, No word was published in India media about this deal. Media started writing only in early 2013 after the judgment came out. The €6 million allocation to manage media houses exposes the clout Michel had on Indian media. What was his job? Michel, by the way, he is cooling his heels in prison, and I'll give you an update on his status at the end of this slide, because I have some data on that too. So what was his job? Identify and inform the company of any hostile press activities that may impact the execution of the contract. Advise and assist the company in the development of risk mitigation strategies to minimize the impact of any hostile press activities. Provide the company with routine feedback on press activity with respect to the performance of the contract or any associated contributing people. Then something interesting happened. Dr. Subramanian Swamy got elected, or I should say got sent to the Rajya Sabha. He was nominated to the Rajya Sabha, and on his second day, 27th April 2016, in his very first speech, he created tremors in the Congress leadership. Unlike others, he did not shy away from naming Sonia Gandhi in the AgustaWestland deal. Here's something very interesting happened. I had the entire video of Dr. Swamy, that address, as a post on PGurus. When I went and opened that, the video has been removed. I wonder why, because this was just proceedings of the Rajya Sabha. These should be there. But anyway, YouTube is not keeping a copy of that. A lot of these things are just going missing. I don't know why. But in that, interesting thing that happened was, when Swamy mentioned the name Sonia Gandhi was not present in the House. So the Congress benches were up in arms saying, how dare you mention a name of a person who is not in the House to defend herself? So the Rajya Sabha chairman and congressman, he kind of admonished Swamy, saying that you know the rules, you have been a Rajya Sabha member before, you should have not done this thing. So from that point onwards, in that address, Swamy said, okay, and then he continued. He never mentioned her name, but he just said, the person whose name I will not mention. The person whose name I will not mention. And he provoked Congress by reminding the chair about his new notice for a debate on the chopper scandal by bringing out the expose of €6 million spent on managing Indian media by the company. On 29th April, that is 2 days later, Swamy gave a jolt to Azad by filing a privilege notice accusing him of lying in the House on the blacklisting of a chopper company. Records indicate that the blacklisting of AgustaWestland was done by the NDA government on July 3rd, 2015, not before that. Get the point? Because I think Ghulam Nabi Azad, who was the leader of majority party at that point of time, because in Rajya Sabha, the Congress had a majority, I think he said that it was blacklisted during the UPA, which was not true. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh wanted his petition to be taken up, but he could not remember under what section he had filed it. Congress, which had planned to attack government, was forced to counter Swamy's allegations against the party chief, Sonia. Now, Jairam Ramesh puts out a thread. Jairam Ramesh said that among the 13 pages Swamy had tabled and authenticated, there was a 2-page email that Swamy had sent to himself. 9 pages taken from a website, get this, www.PGurus.com, run by a person whom Jairam Ramesh identified as Sree Iyer from Silicon Valley, and 2 pages of a news report of a television channel. Ramesh claimed the owner of the website was a Modi Bhakt and was present in Modi's meeting in Silicon Valley. Congress will file a defamation case against this website. This website is connected with the Sangh Parivar. Okay, then what happened? Well, I am not going to let go of an opportunity to create some publicity for PGurus. So I wrote an open letter to Jairam Ramesh. I said, first off, thank you for giving free publicity to our website, PGurus.com. As they say in Hollywood, any publicity is good publicity. Your allegations have boosted traffic to the site, and the readers will form their opinion on what the content is all about. Essentially, what I did, like I said, is take an Italian judgment, use Google Uncle to help me translate it into English, and then just publish some excerpts. It's a 225-page judgment. I didn't put the entire thing. Nobody would read the whole thing. but there was some very juicy extract. That's what I put. Now, just for the record, I did attend Modi's meeting at Facebook headquarters. I think this happened in 2015 and tweeted about it. That's how these people know that I was there. I did not have the pleasure of meeting him or shaking his hand or even making eye contact. Hundreds of people there. I was just one of the people in the audience, and that was it. Then I have a lot of admiration for the RSS, which is the world's biggest non-governmental organization. They are usually the first to arrive at a national disaster site, set up camps, provide basic sanitation, food, shelter, and clothing as needed, and do all this with no expectations. This is just one among many of the things they do. In my opinion, it is unfair to drag their name into this. You could have checked with me before alleging that they are funding PGurus. This is what I said. You are placing me in the company of some very highly accomplished individuals, and I am thrilled and honored to be mentioned in the same line as them. Dr. Subramanian Swamy, Sri Gurumurthy, and Professor R. Vaidyanathan. So this is what I had written in that letter. Then what happened? A few years later, I think in 2018 or early 2019, Christian Michel was extradited from Dubai and brought to India, and he has been in jail ever since. In May 2024, while the elections were going on, he has moved the Supreme Court requesting that he be released. You know what is he be released? You know what his argument was? He said, for a crime that I am accused of, the maximum sentence for that is only 5 years. Now I've already spent 5 years, 3 months waiting for my day in the court. But can you please release me? This was his argument. I don't know what happened of this. And if I looked it up, so far I could not find any mention of what happened to this in terms of response from the Supreme Court. This was supposed to be sometime in May 2024. Whether it came up or not, I don't know. But you know, these guys are past masters at getting these things, getting into the rocket docket and getting it heard. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Let me just take a quick look at all the comments to see how many are questions. You are right, Magnet Ji. Sunil Nanda says, Iyerji, won't you ask why Modi government did not punish the culprit? How many times do you want me to ask, Sunil Bhai? I'm almost done looking for questions. Just 1 second. Almost there. All right, here we go. Thank you so much, Chetan. With Arvind Kejriwal given bail, is this judiciary ready to provide justice in a fair manner, even if this case goes to court with all the Italian documents? Well, we have to see what the Italian documents are saying. By the way, I forgot to tell you one more thing. The judgment in the Appellate Court was overturned by a higher court in Italy. But by the time that judgment came down, I think 𝗒𝘗𝘃 had already served the 4 years or whatever of his sentence. So it became kind of null and moot point. But the point, I think, what I'm trying to say is that even the judgment has been overturned in Italy. So whatever documents that Modi has got, I'm not sure if they will lead to Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi being sent to jail on this. They should be really going to jail. Of course, Ahmed Patel is escaped. He has met his maker. Next question. Why Italy is now opening up to India now? Well, these are all diplomatic maneuvers. I want something, you want something. Okay, you give me this, I'll give you this. Something like that. I really don't hold out that anything is going to happen, guys. This is just another way to bring pressure on the Gandhi family. But other than that, I don't think anything is going to happen, because I've been, what they call, right? And I'm an experienced optimist. In other words, pessimist. I don't expect the Modi government to send anybody to jail. That Arvind Kejriwal went was probably because he was really caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Magnet Ranga wants to know lots of info in public domain on this and the plethora of all scams, other scams of UPA era. Modi government never seriously pursued them. Can we expect action now? Surely nation needs it. Corrupt can't be let off. In fact, you have a good point, Ranga. I would not see. I just said that I don't think anything is going to happen. See what even if they try to, say that there is a court case against Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, they'll flood the complex with thousands of Congress workers. They'll come and break up the court furniture. These are rowdies and ruffians. They don't want any orderly functioning. These are all urban Naxals, in other words. So what can you expect? So I expect something to happen, but imagine if they could have done all these things when they had a comfortable majority. That's my big disappointment. If you had a majority and you couldn't do it, now you have a very tender majority, slim numbers. And how do I expect them to act now? Thank you, Shyam Tarun, for your super sticker. Srinivas M says, Sriji, failure to hold the first family accountable probably implies that deals have been made with the current government. That's my suspicion too, Srinivas. Karthik Viswanathan wants to know, what's the use, sir? BJP just going to sit on this as they have been on other cases against the first family. See, this is the other thing. They are saying, why are you guys jumping at us so much? I mean, because those of us who can read the tea leaves well can tell you that you are going to do nothing about it. That's why, some of us who are very astute followers of politics are saying that you're going to do nothing. The 𝗤𝙑𝘖 stand wants to know, is this why Modi ji said there has been the best trip to Italy? It could be, but like I said, the proof of the pudding is in its eating. Let's wait and see if there's any pudding at all. Here, I have got some more comments. Let me see if there's any other questions here. 𝗤𝙑𝘖 stand wants to know, no, this is already over. Hold on. One more question from 𝗤𝙑𝘖 stand. When will you do a full expose on Jagan? 𝗤𝙑𝘖 stand, there has been a full expose already done by Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan of Lok Satta Party. And this happened, I think 2011 or 12. The way the lands were procured by the Rajshekar Reddy / Jagan Reddy family from poor farmers in the Godavari and Krishna basin, and then turned around and sold it at huge profits to Reliance. This is the big scam, and now we are seeing that he has built palaces. One place he has flattened a hill and he has built a huge palace there. It just blows my mind. I think 6 or 7 palaces have so far been identified: Hyderabad, Bengaluru, and various cities in Andhra Pradesh. Now he can spend one day every week in every one of those things until that gets, I guess, that sees the light of day. Anyway, so those are all the questions that you guys have, and I have already answered them. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.